First things first, critical skills that every lawyer or law student should have, right? One, confidence. I am going to take this time to go over our Hillmantok weekly course. So I had to take some time off. I had a lot of traveling to do. Work got really crazy. And also I was sick last week. So welcome back, students. I'm going to combine I believe week 4 and week 5's class together and just walk through what we would have discussed during those courses or classes. First things first, critical skills that every lawyer or law student should have, right? One, confidence. When I tell you, like, not having confidence really plays into your psyche and how you study and how you perform on exams, it's real. I want you to write yourself literal, like, confidence letters as you're applying, as you're studying for the LSAT, as you're here in law school, as you're in the profession. Okay, that's skill number 1. Skill number 2 is to always ask why. Why? Why? Why is it that, we have to follow these elements of the statute in order to reach, whatever the burden is? Always ask why. That's going to help you so much in your writing. It's going to help you in your advocacy. It's going to help you in your client relations. Ask your client, why did you want to do that? Or what was the reasoning behind that? What motivated you? Why were you motivated? Like, asking the why is going to also, in terms of your writing, is, let's say you're writing an essay and you are in your analysis portion where you're saying, this client deserves to be let off because of this. You see that because? That's the why. We always need the why. Why should an outcome of a case be this? Why? Because the statute says so. My client meets all the requirements of the statute, so that is why. Okay? And then the third skill, I would say, as a lawyer, law student, all the things, would just be like the spirit of being a hustler, a go-getter. You cannot sit around and expect things to just fall into your lap in this profession, whether that be going out and getting clients. Because some jobs you do have to go and secure clients on your own, right? Moving up, if that's something you want to do, you have to apply yourself, whether that means getting multiple licenses, whether that means getting published, being on law review, being in moot court. These are the hustler things that you can do while in law school. In undergrad, what that looks like is making sure that you are in these pre-law organizations, making sure you're networking, you're going to different lawyer events. Figure out if this is even a profession you want to be in. But that's part of a hustler mentality. It's like, what is for me and what is not for me. Okay? So yeah, those are the 3 skills I would say every lawyer, law student, or person of interest in entering this profession would need to have. And now I'm going to go into the next segment of class, the ethics of being in this profession, right? When you get to law school, which you will learn in your second year, going into your third year, about this exam called the MPRE. It's the Multi-State Performance or Professional Responsibility Exam. My bad. Oof. And pretty much what that exam tests you on, which you have to pass in order to be able to practice as well, is, do you know the rules and the standard that you are held to ethically as a lawyer? Certain things we cannot do. And that also leads me into the, what's it called, of like how people are having this discourse on TikTok of like, oh, as a lawyer, you can't really be an influencer, which is not necessarily true. You do have to be mindful. You do have to, if you gonna have a secret account, you gonna have a secret account doing whatever you want. Maybe a faceless account, like, there are ways around it. And if you're someone who doesn't really care, do what you got to do. Like, but there are certain things we cannot do. Like, you cannot come out here naming your clients. Like, you know what I'm saying? You can't give descriptive details that people might know who your client is. Like, unless your client has written a statement saying, sure, go ahead, But yeah, so those are some of the ethics that we are, held to when you're called to the profession. Certain things we just like, especially as judges. Oh my gosh, judges live a strict life. Couldn't be me. At least I don't think. Yeah, nah. I like to boogie on down. Okay. Anyways, I my dream is to someday be a professor. Like, that's my dream, and I would make my law class fun. I would be myself, and of course adhere to like my contract and handbook rules. But yeah, it's not as strict once you are faculty. So that is my goal. God, please make it happen. But yeah, we have certain rules that we have to, adhere by, and we got to act right. You're in a profession that is like, held in high regard. You have a lot of privilege, and so you got to appreciate that privilege by acting right. And sometimes you have to get into good trouble, and I'm okay with that as well. Sometimes you do. So I will leave that there. Thank you for tuning in with Professor Jima for intro to what's his class? Y'all know why we here.